Here is a very interesting problem. I don't normally do monitor or LCD repairs, but I thought I'll give it a go, and it shouldn't be that difficult if it's a capacitor or SMD capacitor or resistor or something on the power supply maybe. So the gentleman who brought this in mentioned that the screen goes into no signal mode after touching the cable or fiddling around the cable, which really didn't make sense unless maybe there was physical damage on the port. Now this is a Acer gaming monitor, and so has a feature called G-Sync. So it allows you to, I believe, or adjust the screen refresh rate or the hertz to a much higher rate. I think it's over 100 or 140. So currently I've plugged it into an AMD graphic card, and it was in a high resolution before, and now all of a sudden it's going into this high resolution. So, and then all of a sudden when I plug the cable back in, I wouldn't get picture, which was so strange. I didn't make any change settings in the computer or in the resolution. Now you can see the resolution is very high, which is the optimal resolution for this screen. And so I left it running and for a little while, and then by itself the signal disappeared and it said no signal, which didn't make sense. The computer doesn't go to sleep, so it's always on, and only one monitor connected. Now I've had a Google search on this issue, and apparently it's very common on gaming monitors with high hertz, where people are going crazy on looking for solutions for a few years now actually. Some have found the solution, some are using adapters like instead of DisplayPort directly, they use a HDMI to DisplayPort adapter, or they try different cables like certified, non-certified, longer, shorter, rollback graphic drivers, all kinds of things. Really weird, and there is really mixed results. There is no one solution fits all. So my assumption was, based on what's happening to me on this screen here, is turning off after a while. I thought maybe a component is getting hot, and because of that it's refusing to turn back on. Now when they brought it in, it has been off for a while, and turned it on, it works straight away. So I'm assuming that, oh, maybe something will get hot and will stop working. So let's see if that's the case. So I'm actually going to disassemble this entire monitor and have a look on the inside. Let's see if we can see any faults. So it has been on for about 2 minutes, maybe 1.5 to 2 minutes. So I'm going to now fast forward this part and let it stay on, and let's see what happens. Now I fast forwarded a little bit of this, about 5 minutes exactly, and the screen went off. Now 5 minutes is a bit peculiar, like as if maybe there was like a power saving feature kicked in, but actually no, nothing. All of a sudden the screen went blank, but as you can see there is backlight, so that's strange. It's not really sleep. If it was sleep, then you will have complete power off. I mean, it will be on standby, but you won't have the backlight on. So the backlight is on. That's very strange. So I decided to have a look. And as you can see, the computer is actually on. I'm pressing a few keys. You can see the numlock keys on, pressing the mouse, moving it around, trying to wake up the computer. But the computer is actually on. I can see the hard drive light flashing and spinning. It's actually on, but no signal. So I turn the monitor off and back on, and nothing. No picture. It says no signal. So this is very strange. So it's not a power issue. Maybe it's a control issue or something wrong with the G-Sync. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's assemble the unit. So here it is. This is the Acer Predator XB270HU. It's a 27-inch gaming monitor. let's give it a go. So the only 4 screws I can see are these ones here, and I found another one on the display port. So remove 5 screws altogether, and you need to use the prying tool and gently pry the monitor from all around the edges, and the back panel actually comes off. So here we go. And I'm working in a very small space and the camera is not mounted nicely, so bear with me. Here we go. And just before disassembling, I also had a look at the OSD display menus. Maybe there is an option somewhere in there I can fiddle around that will bring back the monitor, but no, nothing really helped. Here it is, the back panel is off, and what's very interesting was I expected some screws maybe holding this metal plate in place, maybe it's a cover, but actually the controller and the G-Sync and the USB port and the power supply are all actually mounted onto this back plate, and it's held together by these sticky foil. There is actually no any screws holding it on. I understand why, because there is the LCD panel is right behind it, and of course you don't want to drill straight into it. So I'm basically just taking my time, prying all the adhesive all around the edges, and there is actually 4 LCD connectors, and also there's a backlight cable on the top left, and there is also a controller cable for the buttons that's running along the top line there, right on top of my hand there. So it's good to apply a bit of heat to loosen the adhesive and gently remove all of this double-sided tape and foil. You may also, with a texter, if you want, draw a line around it, because it's only held in together by, this position. That there's actually no placeholder, no screws, nothing. It's just loose there. It's a very interesting design. So the when you mount it onto an arm or a monitor, bracket, it actually holds securely onto the back plastic panel, which is held together by clips. So not the best design in the world, but there are enough clips all around it to hold its weight. So bear with me while I disassemble this unit. So here is the baby. So on the left, very left small controller is the USB adapter and controller, and this is the main power supply. And please make sure you haven't got the power cable plugged in while you're doing this. There is an on and off switch. Make sure it's in the off switch, as you can actually kill yourself by touching the live circuitry around here. And also there are capacitors. The bottom pins are exposed here, so do not touch any of the areas. And so first thing I'm going to do is check out the power supply, see if there is anything unusual in there, like maybe something burned, something obvious. Check out the capacitors, see if you can pick up anything. And the capacitors look good, all the components look good, there is no any bad smell, and so I had to look thoroughly all around. I didn't test any of the components with the multimeter, as I didn't think I need, because the unit was not turning off or flickering or any of those power related issues. The backlight was staying on, if you remember, just no picture. So to me that tells me like a integrated component, like an IC chip on the G-Sync module, the actual picture controller, which is the one on the left of this. So let's put this guy back and have a look at the main controller. So here we have the main controller, and there's actually a separate module which clicks into place, which is really cool. So this is the actual G-Sync module, if you like. It's got its own memory banks, it's got a massive heatsink on top, so I assume it does get pretty hot. And having a look all around, I just could not see any burnt component like a capacitor or one of the components having a color discoloration. The capacitors look good, and the connections with the ribbon cables look good. So I had a look at this thoroughly, even under microscope, and I just could not see anything. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually connecting the system live. A little bit dangerous, but I want to see what's happening to the components, if there is any visual sign, like maybe even heat generated. I can have a look on the thermal cam. So I've got the signal coming in and the monitor turning on, and I'm having a look, see if a picture comes in or not. This is a nice way to have a look, but it's a bit dangerous, so be really careful. Scared at first, so power switch on, and we can see the blue light, and then if there is no signal it goes to orange. We know there is no signal. Bummer. So let's see what we can do. So let's have a look at the G-Sync module. So I'm going to actually remove it. There is two screws holding it in place, and like a RAM type, clips on the sides. It looks like a memory module, but it's actually got a processor of some sort on it. So let's have a look in detail, see if you can see anything. And I'm not going to remove the heatsink, there's no point. And it looks pretty good. So on either side, having a look thoroughly, I just could not see anything. Then I decided what will happen if I turn the monitor on without the G-Sync module, just as is. So let's give that a go. Alright, here we go. I've turned it on, and when I check the screen, the LCD, there's actually not even the Acer logo coming up with the G-Sync on the bottom right corner. So this told me that the G-Sync module was actually working properly, so we can ignore that and assume our G-Sync controller is okay. Then I wanted to see if there was maybe a short, maybe my power supply can tell me. So manually powered it up this way, giving it the 19 volts it needed, and having a look at the power supply. It was drawing amp accordingly. When the backlight was on, it was pulling just above 1 amp, and when the backlight went off, it reduced to 0.4 amp. So you can see 0.4, and the behavior is all good, and the shorting light didn't come up. So I assume there is no problem with power supply or the controller or any of the components. So as you can see, I've removed the positive terminal. And when I reconnected, not killing myself, so 19 volts, which is what's coming out of the power supply. Here we go, it's booting up, 0.4, pulling more amps, or 1.3, 1.8, oh, here we go. And when there is no signal, you can't detect the signal, eventually the backlight goes off, and we're back to 0.4. So the behavior is all normal, so I don't think there is any component failure here. Here is the fun part. So now I'm going to turn the unit on and have a look under a thermal cam, see if any of the components get hot, and having a look all around. By the way, this is the first time I'm actually holding the thermal cam in the hand and moving it around. I removed it from its bracket. So let's see how this goes. We're looking for a component that's maybe getting hot. You know, haven't seen a cool unit like this for a while. I mean, it's in on position, working, nothing's getting hot, all normal temperatures. So we can, I think, completely rule out a problem with the board or some component level problem. This may have been a lot of waste of time, but at least we can rule out component failure and see if we can find what's really causing this issue. So I've decided to put everything back and go back to the drawing board again and have a look at the actual display port communication. And having a look online, a little bit of research, some people said, you know, the pin number 20 or 18 or 19 should be 3.3 volts and something about that, and there's a negotiation problem or communication problem between the computer, the graphic card, and the screen as to what refresh rate or hertz to use. And I suspect that's where the issue may be, but I'm not sure about that, about the pin number, you know, whichever pin missing 3.3 volts. I doubt that's the issue. And the cable I'm using is the new one, and I've checked the pins actually, and they're all making good contact, so no issue with the pins either. And now, as I mentioned, I was using AMD graphic cards, and the drivers are all up to date, and we're getting no display issue. Now I had a look around, and I had another laptop, a Dell workstation, one of the ones used for, you know, it's a mobile workstation desktop replacement, and it has a display port on it with an NVIDIA Quadro graphic card, one of the older models, but it doesn't have any of the advanced features of the gaming graphic cards. So let's see, after putting all this back together, how we go with that laptop. Now the laptop, I don't have Windows installed yet, so originally had a very old Linux on it, so I've attempted to boot from Ubuntu version 20, and I don't think it picked up the graphic card correctly, even though it's allowing me to do external screen or mirror display. I still don't get display, so I still don't trust that the issue is with the monitor yet. So I don't think this laptop, the display port connection is working yet. Maybe it's outputting to HDMI or one of the other ports. So I'm going to go ahead and actually install Windows 10 on this and update the NVIDIA graphics drivers on it and see how we go. Now putting it all back wasn't easy, but it's done and done properly. So I'm just going to fast forward this. It's quite boring and very annoying. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, this is a unedited part. So I've got the monitor here, haven't connected it up yet. I don't have the footage of the monitor working when I put it all back together earlier. So what we're going to do is, I've got the Dell laptop next to me, so I'm going to do a live demo of it working straight. So put it all back together nicely, and what we're going to do is connect the display port to the computer. It's a massive, heavy, giant computer, this one. So this is the Dell I was talking to you about. This is the Precision M6400. So let's connect the monitor. That's display port, direct, no adapters. My god, this laptop is so heavy. It will live longer than anybody, including me. It's very, very reliable machine. It has helped me a lot over the years with many projects. You know, it's not like one of those Inspiron models, you know. This one follows the standards strictly, and everything just works properly. It's a Core 2 Duo, very old system, but reliable. Here we go. So we got power. Here is the monitor. You can see the power light on. Haven't done anything yet, so plug it in. Yep. So no signal. Let's have a look at the laptop. Yeah, you can see that famous no signal. That's what you're dreading now if you're trying to fix this issue. So here we go. Just get it out of sleep mode. Hey, look at that. So it's currently at the lock screen. Just going to bring that up. So I haven't done anything. So that's set up to mirror the display. And the monitor is working. And I left it for 2 hours on the day, and it didn't turn off or anything. And so I haven't actually checked what oh yeah, we can check on the OSD. So on the OSD information on the menus here, you can see information about what's the resolution and what hertz it's currently working on. Here we go. So that's 2560 by 1440. Max refresh rate is 60. So I suspect if I increase the, I don't know, let's give it a try. So I'm gonna go see if it will allow me. Oh, here we go. So this has the NVIDIA controller. I don't think I'll be doing this part, so let's see what happens anyway if we play around with the resolution, the hertz. It's a very slow system. Although it has SSD in there, it's one of the older SSD. It's quite an old one. So let's have a look at this. What have we got? So HDCP capable. That's for like encryption, or like, you know, watching. I think protect. Yeah. So for the the for the movie industry. Okay. What have we got? I think I'm in the wrong area. Yeah, okay, I think I'm in the wrong area. Let's have a look at display settings. So bear with me here. Fix screen flickering, no. Refresh rate, right. Here we go. Hey, look at that. I guess this graphic card, I don't know if it's related to graphic card, you tell me. I'm gonna try 85 Hertz. Oh, by the way, so just make sure we're looking at the right monitor. Because maybe I'm mirroring. What if I first, okay, let's try that first. So this is the NVIDIA Quadro FX 2700M. Let's go back here again. Oh, okay, display 1. Okay, what's display 2? Okay, here we go, sorry. So we want to change the display adapter properties for display 2. Let's come out of that. Bummer, that screen is not coming up. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's close that. Close that. Close that. Okay, we go back to beginning. And we go display 2. Here we go. Monitor. Okay, I guess 85 Hertz is the one that's supported. Alright, that's still working. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it to, instead of duplicate, I'm going to say extend. So only, I mean, both monitors are working, but so one has a different resolution. Yeah, that's much better. So now we've got, oh yeah, you can't see the other screen, I'll bring that along. Okay, so we got here display 1, which is the laptop, which is a very low resolution. That is 1440/900. And this guy here, the 27-inch Acer, it's a beautiful 2560 by 1440. Okay, let's have a look at the OSD information again and go down. So it's at 60 Hertz on the bottom right corner. Oh, you can't see, sorry. So that's 60 Hertz. Too much light. Oops. Yep, you can probably see that. There we go, 60 Hertz. Okay. There's a bit of a lag between this camera. It's going through Wi-Fi, so let's give this a go. Now, can we change the Hertz on the monitor further? No. So this graphic card has a limitation. So we're gonna leave it at that. But it's working at the beautiful optimal resolution. Very nice. So how does YouTube look here? The computer is very slow, so that's Windows 10 running on a Intel Centrino. That's a lot of content on one screen. As you can see, the monitor is actually fine. So I assume the problem is with the DisplayPort communication. The graphic card and the DisplayPort controller on the monitor are not communicating properly, or I don't know, driver issue or something. But I suspect it's related to the Hertz. So if you're having this issue, play with your Hertz settings. So if you have only one monitor, obviously it will be difficult for you. Best to get another monitor or connect to your TV, for example. That will help as a second monitor where you can play with the options for Hertz. So I'm going to leave this video at that, and hopefully help somebody out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to support this channel.